Hello lovely people of the internet and welcome to my channel Bricks and Brushes. I'm back today with a new video on completed pages for February. My name's Claire and I'm really delighted to have you here. Thank you for stopping by my channel. So I thought I would get started with a couple of whips, not too many. The first one is from Grand Classiques and it's the A4, I think it's called the Car. Carres. If anyone wants to find it, I can send you a link. But this is a whip I'd forgotten about, to be honest. So I had it tucked away in another book that I pulled out this month and worked on. And when I pulled it out, this was sat at the front of it. So I'd obviously put it there intending to finish it, and I still haven't. So I've had a lot of the basing done. As you can see, I've done a little bit of shading on Mr. Fredrickson. But a bit of a way to go with the rest of it, particularly on Ellie. She's looking rather poorly at the moment with her lovely white pale skin. Yeah, definitely looking like she's lacking some iron or something, or some sunshine, which we're definitely lacking in the UK. So yeah, this is one that I'm hoping to finish this month, having picked it up again and found it just sitting in one of my books. So I'm quite pleased with how it's going, and yeah, just need to finish basing and then get some shading on it. I don't think that'll take too long, probably an hour or so's work, but hopefully you'll be seeing that in my completed pages for next month. Next whip is in Wild Horizon. I've actually got two whips in here. So I was on a important call for my sister-in-law who we support, and it was going on forever, so I just had this book next to me and was kind of doodling and basing as I was going through that call. So I started on this one, and I also started this one. I got a bit further with this one, and then I kind of lost the plot with what I was trying to do. I'm not sure I picked the right shades of blue. As you can probably see, I was trying to do the whole like lighting effect, and I'm failing miserably so far. Definitely need more practice. So yeah, I will revisit these over the next few weeks and try and get them completed. I think essentially I lost the plot with this one and wasn't sure what I was doing. The call was carrying on, so I started on this one, just as something to do really. So yeah, hoping to get those two finished this month as well. And that is Wild Horizons Cute Habitat Colouring Book. If you've not seen this before, this is in my recent haul video that is up at the moment. And it's the cutest. I absolutely love it. Next whip. So I've based a couple of pages with the intention of finishing them this month. So I had planned this month to base this double page spread in Kanoko Ogusa's Garden of Fairy Tale Animals. And I just didn't get around to it, to be honest. I'm still really hoping I can come to this month. I absolutely love it. And this is what drove me to pick this book up. And I have massively fallen in love with Kanoko Ogusa over this month, having also got Leon's Journey. But I wanted to try and start something in this book. So I've started on this gorgeous rabbit. It felt very spring-like. I've done basing in most areas using Derwent Inktense. And some of my Faber-Castell watercolour pencils. And I've started a little bit of shading, albeit very rough. But yeah, it's looking a little bit dull in areas at the moment, like these pinks aren't particularly vibrant. It's just had a wash of colour. The more vibrant colours have come from the Inktense, whereas the muted colours have come from the Faber-Castell watercolours. So yeah, definitely a bit of a way to go on this. But again, I don't see it being too much work. Now that I've got the base layer there, it's just going in and shading with my pencils. I'm really enjoying using my Black Widows and Brute Finas in here. So yeah, I imagine I will use a combination of both just to finish this off. Make these flowers a little bit more vibrant and add a bit of shading and texture to the rabbit. His kilt's pretty much there, so I've done a fair bit of shading on here, and then started around his feet and then kind of run out of time. So again, another one I'm hoping to finish this month, and hopefully as a minimum I will get this based as well. So that's another whip in Kanoko Ogusa's Garden of Fairy Tale Animals. And then my last whip is in this gorgeous book. So I have been putting off buying this, telling myself I have more than enough colouring books, which is 100% true. But it came up as a very good quality on Amazon. I don't know if you've seen, but you can have a look, and I think they're returns essentially. And rather than being sort of £10 or £12, it was something like £3.50. So I thought I'll give it a go, and I'll be honest, it's turned up and it's like new. I struggle to tell you what is different from new. So yeah, I've started basing this page very, very roughly with some water-based markers, because they are printed double-sided in here. So I started basing it with some water-based markers, and I'm trying to go for, as you can see, like a pink sunset-y colour, and then that reflecting into the water. So then I'm going to bring some blues around the edges and then make the base of these mountains a little darker. But yeah, very, very rough beginnings in that one. So another one I'm hoping to get to this month, and that's in Circle of Life. So that is all of my whips. Moving on to my completed pages. So I managed to colour, I'm just sitting down, I managed to colour a total of 29 pages. I worked in 8 untouched books, or previously uncoloured books, and I completed 3 whips, which I think is a pretty good month, if I'm honest. I'm really pleased with that. Now the first one I worked on, my lovely, beautiful friend Claire, came round and we had a colouring day at the beginning of the month whilst our kids played, and we got a few pages done. So the first one, we both have this lovely book, Pixar Pop Art, and I believe this is the Polish edition. If you've not seen it, it's just beautiful, and I love pop art. I think it helps you to be a bit more free with colours, and be a bit more out there. Yeah, so this is just a wonderful book. So we picked out this page. I say more free with colours. I've then gone with the exact colour palettes for each of the characters here. But on some other pages, I've been a bit more adventurous. So yeah, this is from Pop Art Pixar, and I have just coloured this with alcohol markers, and that's it really. I had to put a bit of white acrylic paint around his eyes because I had a lot of bleeding, just because I was being a bit careless, to be honest, not anything to do with the pens. And he was looking like he had some very orange eyes at one point, so I had to go back and attempt to correct that. It does look a bit messy, but yeah, that was my first page of the month in Pixar Pop Art. Then we worked on a couple of pages in this Senong book, which is a colour by number book, so Animal Bakeries Cute and Calm colour by number, and we managed to do 2 pages in here. So yeah, the first page we worked on was this lovely page, and I really like how this one turned out. It's one of the less detailed pages. Some of the other pages, as you can see, have far more going on. So that was quite a quick page for us to colour. So having completed that, we then moved on and did this very cute little deer page. He's making some kind of pie, which is cute. And they were just in alcohol markers, nothing very exciting. Just use alcohol markers in these books and just do some kind of mindless colouring, which is always fun. So that was Animal Bakeries by Senong. I also picked up this book this month. I haven't hauled it as it came later, but this was on an absolute steal on Amazon. It was like £4. And I love these Colour Quest books. It's got a variety of shapes. So you've got squares, hexagons, circles. I might have hauled this actually. I'm trying to remember. I think I might have. But I got 1 page complete in here, coming towards the end of winter now, so I don't really see myself doing a great deal more. But I completed this gorgeous page, which is a snow leopard. So yeah, beginning of the month, still feeling quite wintry. You'll see the transition through the month where I start to colour more spring type pages. I'm definitely a seasonal colourist, but this was fun to get a page started in this book, Winter Wonders, and to have this as a coloured book not one that's sat there gathering dust, which is lovely. I then coloured my first page in Cozy Japan Jade Summer. So yeah, I've wanted this one for ages. I'm obsessed with all things Japan, to be honest. We're hoping to go over there next year, have a little family holiday there, and I'm starting to make plans on what that could look like. So yeah, just seeing this is getting me really excited about that potential trip. And it inspired me to colour this first page, which is called The Empress. So yeah, I just used alcohol markers, and then for detailing came in with some acrylic paint pens, and just added these details to her kimono, and then some of the details on the flowers and the makeup on the servant's face. But yeah, really pleased with this one. I tried to choose quite a kind of limited colour palette with the pinks, oranges and blues, and try and keep it kind of quite cohesive, and I'm really pleased with how that one turned out. So that is Jade Summer's Cozy Japan. I also did one page in Fairy Buddies by Emily Cozy, and I love this book. It's so cute. I've seen so many beautiful pages on Instagram, and was really inspired by some of those. So I had a flick through, and yeah, definitely was in wintry feeling at the point that I picked this page. So I picked this gorgeous page of these two creatures sat on a log with snow falling, mountains in the background, and then added lots of, you probably can't see on camera, but added lots of glitter and sparkle in the sky, in the river, and then detailing around their outfits and fur. So yeah, again, really pleased with that one. I tried a bit of the kind of light source effect. Definitely still needs more work, but I think I did better than in the Wild Horizons book. So yeah, I really like how that effect turned out. So that is Fairy Buddies colouring book. Then moving on, I decided to colour a page in Pokemon Coloriage Mystère by Hatchet Heroes, and I did this gorgeous page of Squirtle. This book is just so much fun to colour in. I just love it. It's just such a cute book, so many designs, and there's such variety of the like super detailed ones and then the less detailed ones. I would say this is kind of a mid-level for detail. So the C definitely took a while. As you can see, there's quite a lot of variation in colours. But there are definitely some far more detailed pages in this, particularly with like some of the backgrounds for the sky. But yeah, I just love colouring it. I just think it's super cute, and I'm hoping to do at least one more page in here this month. And that is my second page that I've now coloured in Pokemon Coloriage Mystère. And then back to some buddy colours. So myself and my friend Claire are working through this beautiful book. We got it at the start of the year as a project book for us to both work through. So we both picked it up in January, and we did 2 pages this month. I think her beautiful little girl Scarlett picked one of these out. I think it might be in this one she picked. So we coloured Cinderella doing some kind of sewing. It looks like she's sewing some little outfits for her mice, and this was all in acrylic paint pens. And then we also coloured Rapunzel, who is one of my faves. I absolutely love this one. It's so cute, and I think the way they've captured her hair and made it kind of the focus of the picture is just adorable. And little Pascal, bless him, he does look a bit strange there. But yeah, super cute. And we've picked out a couple to colour for this month as well. So again, this book's starting to fill up quite nicely. I've got a few done in here now, which is really nice to see. So that is Petite Poupées Little Dolls Coloriage Mystère. Next, I coloured my first page in Coloriage Mystère Disney Mandalas. And again, I picked this book up recently. And essentially there were a few pages that really drew me to it. And I don't normally colour my favourite pages first, but I just love this page, so I went for this one. I naively thought, because a lot of the background's just plain black, it wouldn't take too long. I'm not gonna lie, it took me forever. So I think because there's lots of like finer details and small areas, just kind of getting the outline around those areas so you can fill in the black just took a couple of evenings actually. But again, really pleased with the result. I missed out her teeth. So she looked very, very strange to begin with. Just a pure blue mouth. And then I went back and looked at the solutions, thank God they're there, and realised that I'd gone quite wrong. So I had to come in with an acrylic paint pen and give her some teeth back. So they probably are a bit angular compared to the original drawing, but I still think it looks cute. Really pleased with it, and really enjoyed colouring in this book. So that's my first page in Coloriage Mystère Mandalas. Moving on, I then coloured in a book I've had for a long time. You can't get these anymore unless you buy them on the second-hand market. So I know they do occasionally pop up on things like Vinted and eBay in the UK, but I've had this probably about 4 years now. And this is Mickey and Friends pixel art, and I did this cute page of Mickey and Minnie, and it just gave me Valentine's vibes. So I coloured it around Valentine's and just loved the bright colour palette. And I'm a sucker for the original, like, is it Fab 4? Fab 5? Fab 5. Goofy as well. Not Goofy. Who have we got? Fab 6. Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Pluto, Donald and Daisy. Fab 6. Blimey. Fab 4. So yeah, I absolutely love this. It was really mindless colouring. It didn't take me too long. I think I was sat on the sofa watching something with my husband and kind of doing this at the same time. Yeah, and it took me sort of an hour or so, but really loved the effect of these pages, and this book is filling up quite nicely as well. So that is Mickey and Friends Pixel Art 40 Coloriage. And yeah, with that one, if you do like the look of it, I would have a look on Vinted and eBay because they do come up. And this is another really old book. This was one of my first that I purchased. This is Colourtronic, a Kaleidoscope Colouring Challenge, and this is a big book. So I'd say it's A4 in height, but it's obviously wider where it's a square book. And I actually managed to colour 2 pages in here. So I coloured this temple, definitely in the Japanese feel this month. And love the vibrant colours for this. It just came out so nicely. I remember when I was colouring this, I was mega anxious. So I was waiting for news on a family member that's not too well. And you know when you just can't switch off, my mind was just on high alert. So I pulled out this colouring book and just coloured until I got a phone call basically to update me because I just couldn't switch my brain off. So I think I'll always link that with feeling quite anxious and it calming me down at the time. I just find it shuts off my brain sometimes when I can't kind of stop the noise. So yeah, I love colouring for that purpose. And again, this was all with acrylic markers. And then lastly, oh, I'm awful with these tabs, aren't I? Lastly, I coloured this pug page. So I actually didn't realise that I had a whip in here. So when I completed the temple page, I started flicking through to see what I might want to colour next, and then discovered that I had a whip, and it was this pug page. And being a pug mum, we have a gorgeous fawn pug called Frank, who is 3 years old, and he looks exactly like this. I mean, obviously not green and purple, that would be a bit odd, but in terms of features and his little nose, and he is the image of this. So this was really, really fun to colour, thinking about my little pug. And again, having another page completed in this book. This is definitely a book I'd like to see completed one day. And it was another 2 pages towards that goal, which is lovely. So yeah, again, acrylic paint pens, and just did this over a few hours. Really fun to colour. So that is Colourtronic, a Kaleidoscope Colouring Challenge. Then I coloured in Disney Family by Hatchet Heroes. Oh my goodness, I really need to get better with these tabs. I do apologise, I have real issues with my hands at the moment. I'm being assessed for arthritis, which is sad, but it means that more detailed things and like when you need to find motor skills, I'm finding it quite difficult. So yeah, apologies if I'm taking forever to find the next page. But yes, again, I coloured this page of Louisa and Mirabelle from Encanto, and this was another buddy with my beautiful friend Claire, another book we both have that we love colouring in together. And I did all of this with acrylic paint pens. Really cute page. So thank you, Claire, for colouring with me again. And then we also did, again with Claire, this is a project book that we're working on. We did 2 pages. I say 2, really it's 3, because one of them is a double page spread. So you would have seen this in my January completed pages video at the beginning as a whip, and we completed it. Claire finished hers first, way before me, and it took me some time to get this finished. I was finding it mega detailed. Again, one of those pages you look at and you think that's not that detailed for a double page, especially as there's some big areas where it's just kind of one colour. But it took ages, a good few evenings sitting and chipping away at it. But I just always love the finish of a double page. I just think they look incredible when they're done. And I love using acrylic paint pens. I did have to use water-based markers in a couple of areas, and you can see, to be honest, I mean, here, for example, he looks quite streaky. But to be honest, look how many blues and purples there are. And I've got the Tulia purple set of paint pens, and I still didn't have enough shades. Honestly, I must have probably over 500 paint pens in different brands, colours, variety, nibs. And still struggled to find some of these colours. So it just goes to show how many shades are covered in these books, really. But yeah, that's the only bit I'm not overly pleased with. That's a bit streaky. But the rest of it came out really well. I love her eyes. I've not actually seen the second film, so I don't know their names. I know the kind of original characters. But yeah, she's super cute. And then next we coloured another tab drama. This gorgeous page from Monsters Inc. So this was so fun to colour. I loved it. You know when there's just certain pages that are just like mindless colouring, and this was one of those for me. Really easy to pick colours, not a massive colour palette, and I love the black outlining, so I always leave that to the end, and I just find it really therapeutic to just sit there filling in the lines and watching it kind of become more vibrant and come to life. So yeah, this is a really cute page from Best of Pixar with my beautiful friend Claire. We've got some more pages planned for this month. I've picked some, and her daughter Scarlett has picked some for us as well. So really looking forward to colouring more in this. That is Best of Pixar. And then by far my favourite page for the month, this is my first page in Leon's journey. So you would have seen, if you watch my haul, that I picked up Kaneko Ogisa's Symphony. No, it's not Symphony, it's Garden Fairy Tale Animals, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And then I forgot I'd pre-ordered this as well. So this is the English version that has just come out. And oh my goodness, it does not disappoint. Like, I hadn't even seen any flip throughs, and I'm so pleased I got it. So yeah, I really struggled to choose a page to colour because I just honestly love every single page. And I ended up settling on this one because it just gave me real Valentine's vibes. So February, Valentine's, and these little cups that say we love, and they've got hearts, they've got Cupid, and these doves that seem to be in love. I'm slightly worried that this guy here might be in a love triangle and feeling left out, but he's either flying towards them or flying away. Looks like he's coming into land. And then you've got this nosy friend sat on the end. But yeah, the process of colouring this was just amazing. I just loved it. And it made me kind of fall in love even further with my pencils and getting back into doing more pencil art. As much as it takes a long time, it's just that process of creating something and seeing the end result and just like falling in love with what you've done. I just absolutely loved it. So I based it all with Derwent Intense and Neo colours, the Neo Colours 2. Activated it with a colourless blender, which I'm really enjoying doing actually. I'm finding that a much better way to activate the pencils without kind of getting the page too saturated. And then I went in and shaded with a variety of pencils, particularly Black Widows and the Brifuna Macrons. They're my kind of go-to pencils. And then tried to create this kind of like sunrise, beautiful sky effect. Yeah, and I just love it. It's probably one of my favourite pages that I've ever coloured. There is literally not a thing I would change on it, which is rare for me to say. I normally have feedback for myself, but I'm really proud of it. And I'm sure in years to come I'll look back on it as something that I could do better with more practice. But at the moment, for me, this was like a really big challenge and I thoroughly enjoyed colouring it. Yeah, and I think I'll always associate it with that joy of colouring one of my first Kanoko Ogisa pages and just falling in love with his work. So I cannot wait to colour more in his books. Like I said, I think I'm going to try and get to that double spread in Garden of Fairy Tale Animals. But yeah, if I don't, I may pick out a page in here instead. But you never know, I might be really bold and adventurous and end up getting 2 done. Yeah, probably hand dependent as well, because I had to do this over a number of days because my hands just won't cope with too much pencil colouring. As much as I would love to colour in pencil all the time, it does put a strain on your hands. So yeah, I'm hoping to get more done here in the very near future, if not this month, hopefully next month. But that is my first page in the beautiful Leon's Journey colouring book. I then did some more body colours. So later in the month, my gorgeous friend Claire came over and we had another colouring day. So we do try and take the kids out if it's nice weather. There's places you can go. But to be honest, as I'm sure anyone in the UK will attest to, we've had about 2 days of sunshine since the beginning of the year. It has just rained and rained and rained. So even going to like a playground, everything is so wet and saturated. And yeah, all the indoor spaces, like particularly over half term, the soft plays and things were just heaving. So when the weather's like that, the kids are really happy just to play and do some of their gaming and play games and toys and all that stuff. So we're very much, if they're happy, we will have a colouring day and just sit, and we're happy too. So yeah, we had 2 days this month, which was awesome. And we got to colour these pages. So we've got Piglet and Eeyore. I'm saying we got to colour them. Did we start these? Quite possibly. Claire would have to correct me. These might have been ones we picked out afterwards, not that it matters to anyone other than me. But either way, they are buddies with Claire. So yeah, we did Piglet and Eeyore, and they're just so cute, aren't they? Again, I just loved colouring these. Really mindless colouring. I had to go in and put in some lines. So that's the only thing with the first Vitro book. It is far simpler and quicker to colour a page, but not having the lines, you just end up like with characters that look like they have no features. So you often then have to go back to solutions and attempt to put those kind of lines back in. And it's hit and miss, to be honest, whether I go in and put in all the lines or just kind of select a few. So here I kind of differentiated between the hills, but on this one I just outlined Eeyore. But yeah, really pleased how both of them turned out. Super, super cute. And that is Disney Vitro. So I also coloured quite a few pages in what has to be my favourite colour by number book ever. So I am obsessed with this book. It is the most simple Disney book I own. Like, some pages have a colour palette of like 5-6 colours. And because of that, it doesn't take long to complete a page at all. So if you're in the mood for just a bit of quick colouring, getting a page done over sort of an hour or so, then this is the book. And it's the one I always take away with me. So whenever I go on holiday, I always take my Crayola Super Tips and this book and a black acrylic marker for the outlining. And I just have a great time. Sometimes I get pages done, sometimes I don't, just in that sort of chill time when you're on holiday, between going off and having meals or just having a bit of downtime. I love to colour in this. And it is the book that is probably filling up the quickest. I haven't coloured it in quite some time, but when I do come back to it, I'll get a few pages done at once, which is exactly what happened. I managed to get 3 pages done in here this month, over sort of a day. So the first one is this page, which is one of the Dalmatians. I'm not going to pretend to know which one, from 101 Dalmatians, and I just used my Crayola Super Tips in the background. For the actual puppy, I used acrylic markers. I started with Crayola Super Tips, and because it was such a big area, it just started to look really, really messy. So I decided to pull out an acrylic marker for this one. Oh, the sun's just come out. So that was the Dalmatian page, and again I outlined in black acrylic marker, as I always do in this book. And then I coloured this page, Dopey, who looks like he's got a horrendous suntan, but if I'm honest, this colour is actually lighter than the one they suggested. Had I have gone as dark as the colour suggested, he would look like he's been seriously burnt. So yeah, and I also changed the colour of the background. It was a really dark colour. I think it was this dark green, and I was like, it's just going to look really dull against all these other dark colours. So I decided to go lighter, and that's what I love about these books. They're yours. You can do what you want. You can ignore the colour code if you want, and I definitely do at times. So I wish I'd kind of made my own choices for his skin colour, rather than attempting to find a shade similar to their colour palette, because he definitely looks like he's been tangoed. But hey, I enjoy doing it. It's a cute page, and that's another one done. And then lastly, I did this really adorable page. I haven't seen Pinocchio in absolutely forever, since I was a child. I'm pretty sure Pinocchio turns into this donkey. I may be wrong. But I used a variety of mediums on this, so I didn't have a huge range of browns that fitted the colour palette in my Crayola Super Tips, or if I did, they were the Colours of the World ones that had the really thin nib, so they wouldn't have been great for kind of bigger areas. So I decided to use a mixture of acrylic paint pens and Crayola Super Tips in this one to complete this cute little page. So that is 3 pages done this month in Disney Babies, and like I said, I'd really highly recommend this for anyone that wants a simpler colouring book that doesn't have a huge amount of colours variety, and you can get a page done quite quickly. So that is Disney Babies by Hachette Hero. And then a new book to me this month is Animals Adorables. So I coloured 2 pages in here. And this is a book that only has 50 pages, which I feel a bit about, I suppose. That's a great word. Yeah, I get printing costs are going up, aren't they? Paper, everything is going up, so I understand why they do it. But I try to avoid picking too many books that have got the 50 pages rather than the 100. I mean, albeit I'll probably never ever complete one of these books, but it is nice to have that variety and choice. But this was an exception because, as it's titled, Adorable Animals, they are adorable. And again, quite a limited colour palette, but they're very detailed on some. So this owl being a great example with all these kind of feathers and the edging was quite detailed and took a little bit of time to kind of get in and get all the shades. but I think he's super cute. I really like the kind of muted blue background. I think that allows him to kind of pop on the page. But yeah, he's mega cute. And then this one I literally did like a day or two ago on the 25th of the month. And I was just starting to feel spring vibes. So we had those 2 days of sun, and it led me into a full sense of security that we were entering into spring. The daffodils are starting to come out. The sun was shining. It was beautiful. I went out in a t-shirt, no coat, no jumper. I also got my nails done and went mega bright because I was like, the sun is shining. Oh. And then it has rained ever since. So yeah, classic British person moaning about the weather. But yeah, that temporary spring vibes made me colour this page. Probably wouldn't pick it out today. Definitely not feeling spring today. But yeah, in the moment I really wanted to colour a spring page, and I just thought this was super cute. Again, quite a limited palette, only 12 colours, and quite a lot of block colouring. So again, I used acrylic paint pens for this. So that is my first 2 pages in Adorable Animals. So myself and my friend Claire also did another buddy colour in this book. So Senong, Stained Glass, Animals in Love. We've had this for a little while now, and we've done quite a few pages together. And Claire chose this elephant page, which is really quick and easy to colour, but I love the bright, bold, vibrant colours used on this. And that's done all in alcohol markers, Ohuhu alcohol markers. And then I had to put a bit of acrylic paint pen on the yellow patch here, because quite strangely, my date that I dated for this page, the ink, obviously, I don't know, it reactivated by my alcohol markers, and it literally seeped through. And honestly, the date was like darker on this page than it had been on here. So yeah, that was a bit of a silly mistake, and a nod to me for the future that if I'm going to date a page, I need to put it down at the bottom, or on the actual page I've coloured itself. But yeah, I had to attempt to fix that with some acrylic paint pen because it looked awful. Really frustrating as well when you've just got to the end of your page. That was one of the last colours I did, and I was like, are you kidding me? But yeah, managed to fix it of sorts. It's still a little bit there, but nowhere near as bad as it was. So that was a page in Animals in Love, Stained Glass by Sen Ong. Myself and Claire also did a page in Silhouettes, Disney Silhouettes, and it's another book similar to this size, A4, and with the tear off pages. I've not actually brought it down. But we chose this Goofy page, and this was one we sat and did together at my house on a rainy Sunday while the kids were playing. And I used a mixture of mediums on this. I used some alcohol markers, I used some pencil, I used gel pen. There's lots of tiny little details on this. It was one of those where every time you look and thought you were done, you would then spot something else you'd missed. So yeah, it took a bit of time, and then I went through with some metallic gel pens just to add like a little bit of sparkle to some of the writing. Yeah, and a few of the plants I added a little bit of sparkle to. But yeah, really like how that one came out. I'm always a bit stuck. I think these are meant to be paint splodges, and I'm always a bit stuck for what to do with these. So I just tried to keep kind of a limited colour palette, but it probably is a little bit all over the place because I ended up deciding to go for the relevant house matching that house to the owner. So Mickey's house was in Mickey colours, Daisy and Minnie's house in their sort of colour scheme. So yeah, it kind of ended up being a bit of a mixy-matchy colour palette, but I think it works. And then I outlined Goofy at the end because he was a bit lost in the background. And obviously the main focus is Goofy. So yeah, I really love how that turned out actually, even though the colour palette is a little bit all over the place. It was really fun to colour. It took forever. We were there for a good few hours colouring this one because of all those little details, but it was really fun and really enjoyed colouring it. So thank you, Claire. We've picked out another page actually for this month, and we've picked out the Rescuers page that's got Penny and the mice on it, and it's actually far less detailed and doesn't cover the full page. So I don't think it will take anywhere near as long, she says. Yeah, I'll let you know when I actually complete it. But at first glance, it looks like quite a simple page to colour compared to this one. So that is Goofy from Disney Silhouettes by Hatchet Heroes. And then last two, so I did one quick page the other evening when I was watching some TV. I got out my alcohol markers and I coloured this page. So this is the Sphinx page in 15 Mythical Miniatures by Camelia Angelkova. I thought I'd coloured more in here, if I'm honest. When I had a flick through, I think I've coloured about 4 pages now. I've got a little tally at the front, yeah, 4. That's it, out of 50. I thought I'd done, you know when you're like convinced you've coloured a lot in a book? This was one of those books for me. But I do have quite a few Camelia Angelkova books, so I may be getting confused with other pages from other books, but it's really nice to get this coloured. I went over to Egypt in November. Absolutely love Egypt. It's just the most incredible country. So yeah, this was really fun to colour, thinking back on our time there, and kind of using the colours that you would associate with the Sphinx and the pyramids. So yeah, really fun page to colour. I just use alcohol markers, and then I also put in the sun just to give it a little bit something in the background. I didn't want to do a full background, so sometimes I put a square around these sort of pages, or a circle, depending on what it kind of calls for. But yeah, I wasn't in the mood to put a big elaborate background, so I just went for adding a sun. So that is 50 Mythical Miniatures. And then my very last page of the month, and thank you if you have made it this far, because I appreciate it's going to be a long video. This is a Japanese colouring book by Inko Kotoriyama. I probably butchered that, so apologies, but I just call it the Winnie the Pooh book. I've not translated it. If you want to have a look for it, the ISBN is just here. And I bought this on Etsy a few years back. I did a bit of a Japanese colouring book haul, and this was one of the ones in it, and I've never coloured in it until January. So I've always had the ambition with this book. So it's got these pages where it goes through the months of the year. So each month has its own half-page spread. So over 3 double-page spreads, apparently I can't count, 3 double-page spreads, you then complete the calendar for the year. So I'm trying to keep up and have managed it for the first 2 months, barely, as I literally finished this last night. I'm trying to keep up and do each month. I had also based a lot of this, taking some of these colours down. So it was quite an easy colour, to be honest. It only took me sort of an hour to finish it off. But yeah, these, I didn't count it as a completed page. I did show it in January, but I've kind of recorded it in my log as a completed page this month, because yeah, I'm not going to count it as 2 completed pages, as in my head it's obviously not complete until you've done both sides. So yeah, really pleased to have my first completed page in this gorgeous book. And I used Derwent Inktense to basis, again using the colourless blender to activate, and then I used a mixture of Black Widows and Brute Thenas, which is kind of my go-to combination, and also some of the Faber-Castell watercolour pencils. I've got the pastel set. I don't know why, and I can't remember from January what I did differently, but I found that January, the page was far less, came out kind of far less grainy. So it didn't seem to have much tooth or texture to it. But when I've coloured February, I found it's got this kind of really grainy effect. So I'm guessing it's a change in mediums, but I know I based this with Derwent Inktense as well. So I'm not sure what I did differently on this part to this part, because I found this harder to kind of get rid of some of this tooth to the page. So yeah, annoying that I've not noted it down. I'm not one for noting down my mediums, just basically because I can't be bothered. But yeah, I wish I had, so I could work out what's different about this top half of the page to the bottom half. Because definitely on the tree down here, I've not got it quite as smooth and polished as up here. The only thing I can think is that I may have activated this with a paintbrush and this with a colourless blender. And I know these pages are quite thick, so they do take watercolour well. So I might try next month activating with a paintbrush and just seeing if it gives a smoother finish. But yeah, who knows? Saying that, I still absolutely love how it came out. I'm so delighted to have my first page done. And finally colouring this gorgeous book that I've had for a couple of years now. It's just been sat on the shelf, not getting any love, which it definitely should, because it's just stunning. So yeah, next month obviously we'll do March, and then hoping to carry on through the rest of the year. Really wish I had noted down my colours. As much as I know, I've used a combination of pencils and I know which ones. There's obviously the same flowers replicated. So I'm going to have to attempt to match them up, but hey, that will work, I'm sure. I'm sure I can do it. But yeah, that is my last page for the month. So a total of 29 pages. Slightly annoyed at myself, I didn't round it off at 30, but 29 is still a massive achievement, more than a page a day, and definitely reflective of how anxious I've been this month. But yeah, I had a wonderful time colouring this month, and I really want to thank you if you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for following my channel. Please do like and subscribe, and I will see you again in another video. Take care.